Alright guys, welcome back. Survival Living here. So yes, greenhouse has changed a lot because we've got a lot of things going on. We're trying to consolidate some of these seedlings and stuff like that, guys, and get the greenhouse what we want in here and the rest outdoors. But this video is not specifically on greenhouses. I've got bad news for most internet preppers that type away. Alright, I believe full-heartedly you need to be growing a garden. Absolutely. But there's a stigma, there's a thing in the forums and the community posts and the comment section that I read all the time. Is like it's not setting in people's heads on what we're facing and what you're going to be facing as a prepper, as an individual trying to take care of their family. So greenhouses, growing your own garden, absolutely. Get that food in, go fishing, hunting, whatever you can, stock up while you can. But that is not the end all be all as far as prepping, just because you got seeds or a garden. I know, bad news. One of the things is growing your own food, guys. When major SHTF happens and the power's out, water is shut off, but you're going to grow your own garden and survive. Now what? Water's turned off. So in this greenhouse alone, when I was doing my seedlings, all right, I had a bunch of them, 240 plants. We were selling on marketplace and stuff like that, help with our income. I was using 8 to 10 gallons of water for all the plants. There should be a photo of all these plants. Just in the greenhouse alone, there's a sealed system. So it's not, most of the moisture is trapped inside. Now that I got plants outdoors, I'm using everything from 23 to 25 gallons of water currently. And as these plants mature and get larger and more demanding, because they need water to grow the vegetables and fruits, it's going to increase. Now, again, SHTF, there is no water, but you're going to grow a garden to survive. How? Now guys, I've done videos on just using Google Maps alone in your local area from your home. There's some photos there. Don't worry guys, that is not my location due to OPSEC, even though I had the threats and people tell me I know where you are because I recognize your backyard, blah blah blah. All I can say is, you feel froggy, jump. I'm a prepper. In other words, I don't call the cops when you break into my house. Think that through. So using Google Maps, I want you guys to look at every street in your area with a 1 to 3 mile range, at every water source nearby, retention ponds, rivers, creeks, drainage ditches, whatever. Now I want you to go to those locations and see if they are a viable source of fresh water. Now when I say fresh water, I don't mean salt water, I mean fresh water. Of course you're gonna have to filter this stuff out, especially if you need it for drinking. But let's just talk about garden itself. A average gallon jug of water is 8 pounds, actually just a little bit more. So a 5-gallon bucket of water is over 40 pounds. Okay, I know my math's a little whatever. Now you got to travel with that. Again, let's say you're using 20 to 30 gallons of water a day. Down here in Florida, it gets hot. You're watering your plants every day down here. There will be the comments. Rain barrel systems. Absolutely. I completely 100% agree, get rain barrel systems for your home. Absolutely. But there are times down here in Florida, it don't rain for days. And you're averaging 20 to 30 gallons of that rain barrel system for just the garden alone. Not talking about drinking water, washing, hygiene, washing your dishes and stuff like that. Washing your clothes. You are going to have to wash clothes unless you got a warehouse full of clothes you wear one time and throw away. A lot of water, guys. Back to the weight of water. Now you're going to have to travel to these locations during SHTF to gather it. Now there's many different ways you can do it. You can use a little hand cart. Sure, absolutely. I encourage you to. You'll be able to transport more with less effort if you have roadways. If you don't, you're going to have some type of off-road buggy, whatever, to travel with. Let's say that vehicles are down or roads are impassable. You're on foot. The new threat has arrived. While you are collecting water, transporting water, and it's going to take several trips, and it's going to take some time, and it's going to wear you out. What about everybody else that's watching you? What about them? This is why I always push so hard on building a community as far as a prepper network, a group of people that has your back. There are those lone wolfers, but they don't think the shit through, because when you're doing that, how are you going to have situation awareness while you're pulling water all freaking day long to make sure your family has enough water to survive and your garden? Yeah, you're going to be operational, tactical. You're going to be able to drop everything that has happened to be watching you for hours, and there's several of them that stays up in different locations, wait for a kill zone, and just whack your ass. So why I say have a community. You'll have a team with you. You know, when I'm doing my fishing and stuff, guys, I'm out there late at night. I doze off sometimes. I do. I'm exhausted from work. I'm sitting there waiting on catfish or whatever's going to nail my lines, and I wake up going, I don't know how long I was out, but I was out. Someone slip up on you. It happens. It can happen. Now, during SHTF, I've spoke on this before. Waterways. To think that you're just going to go out there and fish. What happens when a group of militia group or whatever government decides that they're going to close down those waterway accesses because they know it's a source of food? They're not going to let you in. Or let's say that you do have access to it and you're fishing, catching fish, whatever, and other people are seeing you catch fish, but you're by yourself. I don't care how badass you think you are. If they're armed too, chances are you're not walking away from it. Unless you're some special operator, special force, John Wick MFer. Hollywood is what this is. Am I irritated? Yeah, I am. I am irritated by the stupidity stuff I read. Sometimes I wonder if 12-year-olds who just got finished playing World of Warcraft or whatever, typing away Modern Warfare, that's probably the one I should be going for, typing away about how tactical they are. And, you know, I got 87 headshots. Yeah, it's a video game. When you're actually having to do this stuff, physical manual labor all day long, all night hauling stuff, it's like when I'm doing my outdoor survival stuff, you are drained. You do not have 100% situation awareness. Your body is beat. Your mind is not working correctly. You're dehydrated. You're exhausted from the heat or the cold. Whatever the situation is as far as weather is concerned, you need to have somebody watching your six. Water alone for a garden is what I wanted to talk about in this video, because I don't think people fully understand that you got to have a lot of water to grow that food. This is why we tell people to stock up canned goods and dry goods. Freeze your food, all right? Just like I do in the fishing stuff. I'm loading that sucker up with as much fish protein as possible. That way, when things happen, I can maneuver around and not be desperate and go make a stupid decision that's going to get me swacked when my family needs me to go get food. Anyway, guys, just a little bit of tidbit information. I know I do get heated in some of these things is because some of the things I read from people, I pray to God, is just little shitheads wanting to type away. And it's not really the preparedness community half-ass thinking things through. Because if so, we are in a world of hurt. I should say you are in a world of hurt. If you think just because you get a bag of seeds and a couple canned food and you grow herbs, you're ready for the apocalypse. Anything can happen. That's why we teach, we'll try our best to show you guys what we're doing. Are we the best at it? No, definitely not. I keep pushing and I keep pushing. I try to get better at every skill set I can. Why? It's not because I have to be the top tier of anything. It's because I have a family that is going to depend on me to be able to provide, to be able to do these things. Well, all I've done is sat around YouTube, talk about how great I am, and the shit goes down, and guess what? I can't start a fire. I don't know how to purify water, and that's another thing. Water purification. You're traveling to these retention ponds and all this stuff, all these runoffs from antifreeze, oil, whatever is in the water, pesticides. You have enough water filtration to filter that out. Obviously, you don't want to go in the garden. And obviously, you don't want to be drinking it. It's a lot to this. You can't last long without water. Quick story. When I was train riding, because I know the comments coming, vegetable cans have water in them. You are absolutely correct. I was out of Wyoming. I had jumped a train out of Rock Springs, and it took me to a coal facility and broke air. Broke air means they disconnected the train, and the locomotive left. And I was still on this thing. I was down in a coal chute grainer. In other words, I was stuck. I sat there for 2.5 days, done drank up all my water that I had on me. I did have some canned goods. Green beans contain water. Corn contains water. Enough to keep you alive, but you're not thriving. You're barely keeping yourself alive. When people say all you need is a gallon of water to survive, that's enough to keep your organs functioning. Your body is alive, sure, but you're not ready to fight. You're not ready to do anything. You are dehydrated, especially like down here in Florida. When I was doing my outdoor survival stuff, outdoors, I was going anywhere from 3 to 5 gallons of water. Usually about 3 gallons of water, drinking water, is what I was doing in the summertime down here. It's that hot. You sweat that much. And I had the commenters. There's no way. Well, obviously you've never done it. I do it. I film it. I show it. You need water. All right, guys. Appreciate you hanging out with me.